This is just a quick update. I need to do my own stuff, my own projects, separate from men's rights. But what I wanted to address before I go is patriarchy theory and how to pretty much refute feminism in about 5 sentences. If you don't believe in patriarchy theory, you're not a feminist. And patriarchy theory is essentially the assertion that men oppressed women throughout history. Now, this assertion is only meaningful if you agree that this oppression was deliberate, that men deliberately set out to oppress women. Otherwise, if it was a mistake, it doesn't confer any moral legitimacy on feminism as a movement. So when you believe patriarchy theory, then you have to believe that men throughout history purposefully oppressed their wives, mothers, sisters, and daughters in ways comparable to how people of different tribes would oppress each other. So men essentially oppressed their relatives, their female relatives, in the same way that we've seen people oppress people of other ethnic, racial, or cultural heritage. Now, the problem with that is that men throughout history have had their most intimate relationships with their wives, sisters, daughters, and mothers. Like, these are the most intimate relationships that men have throughout history. And so what feminist theory is proposing is that men are willing to oppress the people they are closest to. That means that feminist theory asserts that men are sociopaths. Now, people can do horrible things to someone they've cast as an other. That's situational sociopathy, and it requires all kinds of mental gymnastics to create a situation where you can treat the other as shit, basically. And usually it also requires victim politics. The other is attacking us. The other is going to kill us. The other is going to rape our women. Stuff like that. The other already has, so we're taking revenge. It requires an entire suit of gymnastics, and it's situational sociopathy that we all can engage in. What feminist theory proposes men do is something that cannot be explained by situational sociopathy. The only way to explain it is that men have absolutely no soul. So feminist theory is asserting that men are sociopaths with no souls. And you can't change that, because no matter what you do, if men aren't seeing women as human after women have been part of their families and they've had the most intimate connections possible with women, and men still can't see women as human, I'm sorry, there's nowhere to go with that. You're not going to make men see women as human by saying things like, oh, patriarchy is bad. It just isn't going to work. It's obvious, if feminist theory is correct, then men are innate sociopaths and will never view women as human beings. So, if feminism is correct, men are sociopaths, there's nowhere to go with this. The only way to go is to kill them. So radical feminists are right. The only solution is to kill all men. And probably the gender traitors who sympathize with them. They're correct, if feminist theory is correct. However, I have a sneaking suspicion that men are not sociopaths. And in fact, this is a construct that is completely and utterly useless. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just hateful. It's just fucking hateful. And it really says something about society that this gained any traction whatsoever, that someone didn't stand up and say, you know what? We don't accept a philosophical framing that has unilaterally decided that a group of people is complete sociopaths, irredeemable sociopaths, that nothing is going to change, right? I mean, seriously. If men throughout history have had the most intimate relationships possible with women, and they still haven't viewed women as human, nope, millennia upon millennia of wives, mothers, sisters, daughters still haven't viewed women as human beings who deserve rights, where the fuck is the sympathy going to come from? Like, the whole construct relies on the idea that men are sociopaths. It asserts that men are sociopaths. Where do we go? We don't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere with this shit. It is the most destructive shit I've ever heard. It is hateful. It is hateful mischaracterization of men. And like I said, it must say something about our society that got any traction whatsoever. People didn't wake up and shout down, this is fucking shit. This is hateful shit. This is hateful, hateful shit. And essentially, that's how you destroy feminism. Just point out the fact that it relies on demonizing an entire group of people for its legitimacy. And yeah, that's hateful shit. Gene a bit.